After enough cruises, you start noticing things you were never really supposed to notice. Nothing illegal, relax. Just hidden areas, weird quirks, codes the crew uses, and a few things that'll save you money or make it look like you've sailed a lot more than everyone around you. Royal Caribbean runs 29 ships, crews drawn from over 70 nationalities, carrying millions of passengers a year. Their newest Icon-class vessels hold close to 10,000 people each, a floating city with coded emergency signals, hidden decks, and an entire parallel world below the waterline that guests are never meant to see. Number 8 is the one that changes how you look at the entertainment schedule forever. And it all starts with the ship underneath the one you're standing on. Step through a crew-only door, and the polished marble of the guest promenade immediately vanishes. Below the waterline lies a parallel city, an entirely separate world containing a crew bar, coffee shop, gym, and dedicated social spaces. The design down here is strictly functional, built with stripped-down corridors, mismatched furniture, and weaker air conditioning than the guest venues above. Newer ships generally offer much nicer crew areas, while older vessels remain starkly practical. But the old maritime hierarchies are shifting. The 2 crew mess halls are no longer segregated by rank, meaning any crew member can eat in either. To keep daily life running smoothly, Royal Caribbean provides crew with free, unlimited WhatsApp messaging. Respect these boundaries instead of treating crew areas as guest attractions. Doing so is the first step to understanding how this massive floating city actually functions. The communication system. Keeping this parallel city synchronized relies on coded language broadcast over the speakers. These announcements are not theatrical secrets. They are functional tools designed to alert a multinational crew without causing passenger panic. Because accents and dialects vary across dozens of nationalities on board, simple words provide absolute clarity. The most frequent code is Alpha, indicating a medical emergency, which usually means minor slips, falls, or cuts. Other signals include Bravo for a fire, Oscar for a person overboard, and Echo for a mooring or drift issue in port. If a situation escalates, the general emergency signal is 7 short blasts followed by 1 prolonged blast. Passengers learn this signal during muster, while the crew drills these scenarios every single sailing. While safety protocols watch the sea, a massive network of cameras monitors the spaces passengers assume are private. Stateroom balconies are often treated as personal sanctuaries, but they function as public-facing zones. Security cameras line the superstructure, angled to capture multiple balconies simultaneously. These lenses do not point directly into cabins. Instead, they are motion-triggered to watch the railings for climbing or potential falls. This structural visibility is why the line's guest conduct policy explicitly prohibits nudity on balconies. The reach of this network extends deep inside the ship. In the casino, feeds are continuously analyzed by both the onboard security team and shoreside corporate offices. On a vessel this size, a traveler can easily escape other passengers, but avoiding the surveillance grid is another matter entirely. Deep below the passenger decks, past the service corridors, lie the ship's most somber necessities. The brig is a small, windowless interior cabin that locks only from the outside, functioning as an overnight holding cell until local authorities take custody at the next port. Nearby sits the morgue, a discreet, unmarked refrigerated room. Both spaces remain hidden on the lowest decks, far from guest areas. The onboard medical center operates under a similarly practical logic, serving as a triage and stabilization unit rather than a full hospital. If a medical crisis escalates, the crew must arrange an immediate evacuation to a shoreside facility. For passengers, this means expecting a swift transfer to land, along with medevac bills that frequently reach $50,000 to $100,000. Behind the crew-only doors, accommodations reflect a strict maritime hierarchy. Most crews share 9 by 9 foot cabins housing 2 to 4 roommates. Private rooms are reserved for department heads and engineers, while the premier suites go to the captain and cruise director. Contracted entertainers, however, frequently negotiate better, guest-style accommodations. These contracts run 3 to 12 months, typically 4 months for sous chefs and up to 8 months for stateroom stewards, with just 2 to 6 weeks of unpaid vacation between assignments. This division extends to employers. While room stewards and waiters work directly for Royal Caribbean, spa therapists and art auctioneers are third-party contractors. Royal Caribbean simply leases the space and takes a cut of the revenue, which drives the constant commission-based sales pitches during your treatment. Because these onboard spa services also carry an automatic 20% gratuity, passengers can protect their wallets by telling the therapist before the treatment starts, "I'm not buying products today." Number 17. Meatloaf with tomato glaze and green beans. While third-party operators push retail products, the ship's main dining room quietly offers a level of flexibility that Royal Caribbean rarely advertises. Many passengers assume they are limited to one selection per course. In reality, you can order multiple appetizers, sample 2 different entrees, or send back a dish you dislike for a free replacement. The only modern exception is lobster night, which limits guests to a single complimentary tail. The cruise line underplays this policy to prevent excessive waste, but knowing the rule exists lets you customize your dining experience and maximize the value of your fare. This physical flow extends directly to your evening schedule. The ship coordinates entertainment to distribute crowds, billing production shows opposite main dining times. As the theater doors open, musicians in nearby lounges start their sets, a deliberate handoff designed to draw you from dinner to the stage and eventually to the bar. Even formal nights balance genuine tradition with high-margin engineering. Dressing up naturally steers passengers toward photo stations, specialty restaurants, and better wine purchases. These choices feed an engine where signature cocktails run $14 before an 18% gratuity. With onboard spending making up about 30% of Royal Caribbean's revenue, averaging $91 per passenger per day, booking your entertainment and dining strategically helps you control the flow. The mathematics of onboard revenue extend directly to the cabin upgrade program, RoyalUp. Passengers treat this bidding system as a simple blind auction where the highest bid wins, but the algorithm actually calculates a multi-step resale. When a bid comes in, the computer evaluates what the passenger originally paid, the new bid amount, and how easily their current stateroom can be resold to a new traveler. If your current cabin is hard to resell, you become a worse candidate for an upgrade, even with a high bid. Before placing an auction bid, call reservations to check the price of a standard paid upgrade. On balcony-to-suite jumps, direct purchases can occasionally cost far less than the auction minimums. At Perfect Day at Coco Cay, the ship's onboard system simply extends onto land. Most island staff arrive from the ship each morning during the daily supply offload, while a smaller group lives in dormitories visible behind the water park's slide towers. This staffing model makes overnight calls highly impractical, as these crew members are needed back on board for dinner and evening service. In Labadee, Haiti, this logistical control has faltered. The current suspension runs through June 2027, displacing over 65 sailings in 2026 and stripping reliable income from more than 600 local Haitians. While a skeleton crew maintains the site under a lease with 24 years remaining, Royal Caribbean is pivoting. The 17-acre Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, opened on December 23, 2025, employs local staff and offers up to 49% equity to Bahamian investors. As Santorini opens on April 27, 2026, Cozumel on December 31, 2026, La Lepa in early 2027, and Perfect Day Mexico in late 2027, these private destinations are becoming just as vital as the ships. Subscribe for more cruise secrets. Once you understand the invisible systems shaping your voyage, the illusion fades, but a better experience begins. Knowing the operational logic of these floating cities doesn't ruin the magic. It gives you the agency to navigate it on your own terms. Subscribe for more insider travel secrets.